Hello travelers, and welcome back to Found in Japan. My name is William, and we're going to be going from down here in the middle of the woods to up here at the top of Makio-san in its observation deck, and let's find out what can be. Alright, welcome back. As I said, my name is William and this is Found in Japan, and today we're at Makio-san, which is a mountain in the south of Osaka in Izumi City. And we're gonna go for a little hike. So recently it's been raining for like the last 2 weeks. We're currently in the middle of Tsuyu, or the rainy season. And it's dried up quite a bit, and today it's really warm. So I've got my family with me. They've already gone down. We don't need a mask because we're not around anybody. We're just out here in this beautiful nature, and we'll see what shots we can get and what we can find. So let's get going. Right behind me there's a lot of trees, and they're all in a line like over here. This place probably was really heavily forested a long time ago, and it's been cut and planted and cut and planted. So all the trees are about the same size and same width. There's lots of landslides in Japan due to heavy rain and earthquakes, so that might also be a factor. So let's take a look at some of them. The most recent time that we came here was in the end of March, and it was during the cherry blossom season. And it was really beautiful, really nice. It was already hot, but today it is definitely way more hot than then. Today is, let me actually check, it's currently 24 Celsius, which is 75 Fahrenheit, so it's really nice, and it's the mid of May, end of May. It's really nice weather to be out in a walk with just t-shirt and shorts. We all have on trousers because there's bugs and brush and stuff. There is a temple that's located here that I'm at right now, and I actually have no idea what it's called, but it has some pretty cool statues in it, and let's go inside and see what it's like. It looks to be pretty abandoned and overgrown, but it's still really cool. So I'm guessing by the little statue of the Buddha with the children that this is probably some type of temple for children, or children passing on, but I'm not really sure. I'll have to look this up later and maybe see what it's called and why it's here. Right now I'm walking from what looks like a one-lane road, but this is actually two-lane traffic, and I thought it would be fairly okay, but there's a car coming by, or a bus, like right now. About every 20 seconds somebody is coming up or down off this mountain, and it is kind of crazy because the last couple of times I came there was nobody. We start our trek up the mountain here, which is at the Izumi City Kids Hostel. I've actually stayed here once or twice during a summer camp that I did for middle school students, and that's how I first found out about this place, and it's really, really nice. I believe you can rent it, and it has like public bath, and you can do barbecues and stuff, and it was really, really fun when I stayed here. Directly behind me right here is where we did all our cooking and we did our morning exercise. But as you go up the hill a little bit, in the back of the building, we actually had a big bonfire, and it was really fun, and the kids enjoyed it. And we cooked some curry and rice outside, but it looks like it's closed right now. Still in the state of emergency, so you know, it's a really fun place to be. I had a lot of fun. We played a lot of games. On the last day of the camp, we did this hike up to the top, and everybody seemed to enjoy it. So let's get going. Now this is not the most terribly difficult hike. In fact, it's a path that goes up, and vehicles could drive up here if they needed to, but it's pretty washed out right now. And I don't go hiking a lot. It is more than I'm used to. I think my family's gonna be pretty far ahead of me, so I'm gonna have to pick up the pace and try to catch up to them. Over here behind me, there's a whole bunch of downed trees, and I believe this happened 7 or 8 years ago because I've seen them downed and I've never seen them fixed. Whew. Yeah, if you look right over here, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's fallen down. There are several different paths on this. There's a gravel rock path that I was just talking about, but there's also these bigger paths that are much harder to go up. The steps are very narrow and tall, and for someone with gigantor feet like me, this can be really rough. My kids like it though, so I hope they took it. But not me. So these signs are like, mountain fire, please be careful. It's your responsibility to protect the forest from the Osaka prefectural government. Falling rocks, be careful. Because of the way the mountain is cut and the heavy rains, rock slide or mudslide is always possible. Woo! As you get more south in Osaka toward Wakayama, there are trees like this. These are mikan trees and they grow on the slopes. They enjoy hot weather. Mikans are like tangerines or oranges that are really easy to peel. They're usually quite sweet and we eat a lot of them around New Year's, Christmas time. But as you can see, they're blooming, they're growing, and they look really nice. Let's go. There's another one of those steep paths up. Right behind me are some very beautiful cherry trees or sakura, and they bloom in March. And when my family came, they were spectacular. And here's a couple pictures of them. Enjoy. Let's get back to walking. This gorilla is part of like a walking event that children can do if they're staying at that hostel down below. So I said earlier I don't do this much. When I was younger, I grew up in Western North Carolina and we get out a lot. And in the summertime, we did a little hiking and it was a lot of fun, but as an adult, I don't do it so much. My kids are getting bigger now, so maybe it'll be a little bit more fun to get out here. Today, I got my wife and my kids and a couple of my son's buddies, and they're already ahead of me. They brought some bug collection boxes and some snacks, so hopefully I'll be able to catch up to them soon. But for right now, I just gotta keep on keeping on. When you get up toward the top, they have this really nice dog park. And we're probably gonna stop and, ooh, you can't see my face. We're gonna stop and throw around the Frisbee a little bit and have a little rest and something to drink. So let's get over there with my family. So we prepared some snacks and they all are pretty standard for a Japanese walk slash snack. Sometimes you buy them, sometimes you make them, but we got a couple onigiri or rice balls. My wife made these today. I'm what made the rice, but she packed them. We have a mikan, like trees that we saw, and I brought a drink. I don't have any tea today, but I brought this one. So first, let's try these onigiri. So the first onigiri, I think this is probably umeboshi, because it's usually white outside and there's umeboshi or pickled ume, plum inside, and let's see what it's like. Okay, that was definitely had a hot dog inside of it. Not umeboshi, so that's a bit of a surprise. It's still pretty tasty. The next one that we have is like some magic nori wakame. So it's got sesame seeds, it's got 2 different types of nori in it, it's salted, and it's really, really delicious. Everything's pretty dehydrated, but as it sits with the rice, it rehydrates and gets really tasty. Yeah, this is pretty good. Once that finishes, we have our mikan, and these are actually from America. The oranges here aren't done yet. I can tell you this much though, these are not cheap. We have 10 people today in our group, and to get 10 mikans costs like $8. So, but they are very sweet and they are very good. There's some noise going on in the background. It sounds like rollers, and that's where we're headed next. But before that, today's drink that I really like is this drink right here, and it's called Salty Lychee, and it's very delicious. Funny story, a couple years ago this came out, and maybe 8 years ago, 10 years ago, and lychee are little berries. They're fruit that grow in Southeast Asia. They're sour, they're sweet, they're delicious. If you haven't had any, find some, they're great. So this was advertised as a oh, there somebody goes. Help yourself get rehydrated and feel better in the summertime, and it was fantastic. I drank a lot of it, I loved it, and then it went away as a seasonal drink. And the next year they did the same thing, but people were like, this is really good. And now it's back full time. There's ice cream flavors, there's freezer packs, and they are all really delicious. So if you get a chance, when you come, drink some, because it is really, really good. It's made by Kirin. It's usually 150 yen in a vending machine, but it's also like 80 yen or 80 cents if you find it at a grocery or a Gyeom Super discount grocery. But yeah, that's really tasty. We also have some karaage and fried chicken korokke. I'm sure they're delicious, but my stomach hasn't been too happy recently, and there isn't a really nice bathroom here, and that's a problem for me. Here's a picture of what everything looks like that we had. We also had some grapes and some other stuff, and the kids are all really happy, and that's what's most important. I think they're gonna play a little frisbee, and then we're gonna get back on our hike. So let's let them play some frisbee. We finished snack time, and it's actually been about an hour. They have this nice gazebo area, and it's made by the Lions Club. They sponsored it. We're gonna get up to the end of the hike now, and I think we're gonna take the hard route. Is that right? Yeah, we're gonna take the hard way. Let's go. They have lots of beautiful hydrangea bushes, or butterfly bushes, I think is what they're called. But these will be blooming like crazy in just a couple weeks. This one right here says Q-dan, or like really, really steep. So let's keep going. It was not lying when it said that this was steep, because it is all downhill, and we're not even to the steepest part yet. This part right here is like almost vertical. Like, keep going, keep going. It's hard to tell, but Hey. Oh, really, really steep right now. Woo. Right behind me is, you can see right here, a track. That's a slide that runs down the side of the mountain, and we'll pick that up on our way out. So my kids couldn't wait. They wanted to ride the slide. They did that a couple of times, and they went down, and then they came up, and then they went down, and then they came up. But I can actually hear some of them coming right now. I'm gonna make my way up to the top of the mountain, and we're gonna visit the observation deck. So let's get walking. There's quite a few poisonous caterpillars around here as we climb up. Okay, so we've made it almost up here to the top. There's some stairs. There's a little bit of an onset, and it specifically says, please don't do fireworks. And we have this beautiful view off the edge toward Osaka. So let's make our way up to the top. Here we go. So here at the top, they have a platform. There's a bunch of concrete. They have a couple of these Nikon optic lenses that are pretty good. They let you see pretty far. If it's not too hazy, you can see a lot. Behind me, as you can see, there is some mountains, and they're also very beautiful. It is really, really bright. It's quite shiny, but it is beautiful. So let's swap over the lenses, and let's see if I can show you some of the things that we can find out here. So directly out in front of me is that white tower, and that is PL Gakuen. That's a private school that is really, really expensive, but also really strong in a lot of different sports. And they even have their own like tower, their own thing, like Tokyo Tower or Osaka Tower. It's pretty impressive, and it looks like a giant sandcastle. If we zoom across is actually the horizon of Osaka City, and it's kind of hard to see, but with the maximum zoom I have, right here is Abe no Harukazu. That's a tower. It's actually the tallest building in Japan, and it is gigantic, and one day we're gonna do an episode going there. As we make a pan across, we start getting to Osaka Bay, and there's a really tall building out there, and that's out toward where IKEA is located here in Osaka. This is the Bay area, and directly across from this bay is Kobe, like Kobe beef Kobe. As we look to the west, over here is where the Kansai Airport, or Kansai Kuko, is located, and Rinkutown, which are really great shopping place. Up here is a weather Doppler station, I believe. So I could see almost all of Osaka City, all the way over toward Kobe, up to Nara, and down towards Wakayama. It's been a great hike. So one thing that we have left to do is to hit that slide. So let's go. Walking downstairs ain't great. So this was really nice, and if you really like this content, give it a like. Maybe you can tell me what something else you'd like to see, or somewhere you'd like me to go hiking. I was really hoping that in the future I'm gonna have a drone and I could do some drone shots or set up. So we'll see in the future if I can get the numbers to where it would warrant getting one, then we'll add some drone footage in there. Maybe I can borrow one from a buddy. Let's take her for a ride. Well, that was fun. My butt hurts a little bit and is hot, but it's time to head down the mountain and get back to the car. So let's get to it. So on my way down, I noticed that some of these cherry trees actually are blooming and have cherries that are ripe, and some of them have even turned black. But there's gonna be some happy birds up here because nobody's coming to eat these. I can tell you this much. While it may be harder to walk uphill holding a camera, it is way more scary to walk down, because I almost busted my butt just a minute ago. Oh, it's the moon. Look. Here the air is great. Osaka City is not bad, but it is definitely stale. When you're riding the trains all the time and you're in your house and it's rainy, this has just been a fantastic day and a fantastic hike. As we were coming up, this was the really steep path that I was like, man, I really don't want to come up this thing, but I got no problem going down it. So how about we head down on our way out? Okay, so this is getting a little bit steep and out of hand, so I'm gonna put the camera down until I'm at the very bottom. Yeah, I'm really glad that I decided to put the camera away. I almost busted my butt just back there. Again, it's a lot of weight sticking out as you're going down some really steep steps. So in the home stretch, we got just a couple hundred more feet and then we'll be at the bottom of the mountain. Well, that was a great trip and thank you for enjoying me. Again, if you like this kind of content, please like and leave us a comment and we'll get back to you with what we can do more. But from now, let's go home.